welcome back to my YouTube channel. It's your fave Blessing and we are back at it with another YouTube video. So today's video is going to be all about essay tips, and I'm just going to give you guys a little bit of tips and tricks on how to write a good essay for any type of class or event. So let's get to the video. Alright, so like I said, today's video is going to be all about writing essays. I'm pretty good in this department, if I might say. I used to write stories when I was young. Speaking of stories, all my OGs out there that used to read Wattpad stories, you a real one, okay? You a real one. So yeah, like I said, writing has always been like a fun thing for me. I've always found writing easy. Yeah, sometimes it takes me a little minute to like get into it, but like once I get into it, I'm pretty good. So I'm just gonna give you guys some tips that I think everybody should know, and then some personal tips that I use when making sure I like my essay. So yeah, so the first tip is gonna be topics. So most times you're given a topic and you just want to always stay focused on the topic. Like, it's so easy for you to be talking about Billy and Joe going up a mountain, and then by the time you get towards the middle, you're talking about your sister Becky who went to England for the summer, and it's just like, how did you get there? So I really want you guys to focus when you're writing on staying on task, because it's so hard to like overthink it. You're trying to make sure that you include everything, especially for academic writing or like scholarships. You just want to include everything, and that's reasonable. That's totally understandable, because this is something for you. This is a grade, this is money. So yeah, but at the end of the day, you don't want your overthinking or you not staying focused on the prompt to like be wrong for you or take away points or anything like that. So a way that I personally make sure I'm always staying on task or focus on a prompt is after like every paragraph or two, if I really know what I'm like explaining, if the prompt is easy, maybe every 2 or 3, I'll make sure that every paragraph I stayed on task, or like I'm still following the prompt. And another way to ensure that you're staying on task on the prompt is to make sure you include everything from the prompt. So if the question is saying, why do you think you should be in this program, give reasons why and explain them. First, you need to go ahead and tell them, why do you think you should be inside this program? And make sure like when you say why, explain that why, and then give your examples and explain those examples. You don't just want to say why with no background, because the prompt tells you to add evidence. So make sure that you go step by step. Usually that's what I do. My first paragraph will be like answering the question, and then everything after that will be whys and why not. And that also helps with coherentness. You always want to be coherent. You don't want to do too much. Like, be calm, okay? Be calm. Meditate, guys. Meditate. Be calm, be chill, be cool, okay? So yeah, so when you write your essay, just be chill about it. Like, make sure you're hitting everything, and don't try to sound all academic, PhD at 16 type vibes. Like, you're in 12th grade or whatever grade you're in. Be calm, write like that, but still show who you are through your writing, because that at the end of the day will help a teacher know who you are as a writer, and also an admissions counselor or a scholarship community really feel like you're writing something genuine. So the next thing that kind of stems off of that is organization. So I know everybody's like, girl, we already know about organization, but I just need to put that in here one more time, get it in your head. Organization. When it comes down to a paragraph, make sure you always have an intro, body paragraphs, and conclusion. Your intro, yes, I know everybody hates it, a thesis, but even if you're writing a story, make sure at the end of the day in the introduction we understand, like, you're talking about Billy and Joe going up a mountain. Like, make sure we know somewhere, like, this is what this paper is going to be about. I understand that Joe and Billy's about to go up a mountain, and this is where I'm taking you as the writer. And when you have your body paragraphs, make sure you have transitions first, second, third, finally, in conclusion, because you want it to be a flow. Like, when you're talking to somebody, you want them to feel like you're talking to them, and you want it to be understanding. You don't want it to be choppy. So you always want to have transition words in between your paragraphs, and even within your paragraphs. Just like, secondly, I would like to point out, thirdly, this happened, moreover. And there's just a lot of words, like, and don't overuse words in your organization. You can always look up synonyms or just good transition words on like Google or anything, and it will tell you like these are words that you could use that you don't really use, so stuff like that. So organization. Oh, and make sure when you write your conclusion you enter a bit of everything that you've written. So let's say you wrote about why you should vote and you used 3 reasons that voting is fun, you're old enough to vote, and it's the right thing to do. Make sure in your conclusion, like let's say you say in conclusion, people should vote because it is fun, it is the right thing to do, and you're old enough. You don't have to go in depth because you already did that, but at least I remember like, yeah, that's what such and such said back then. And you already stated your thesis by saying you should vote because. So you included everything, and that's probably like a sentence worth, and your conclusion could be way beyond that, but you just want to make sure somewhere in there you restate from overall your whole entire essay. So organization, guys, make sure I got that organization, because I don't know if y'all don't have that organization. I told you, okay? I told you to have the organization, so have the organization, okay? So the next tip or whatever, examples. So this especially goes for like academics or ones where they're like giving you an example. Make sure like your examples / evidence is strong. I know sometimes, especially when it comes to bigger papers, it's just like, I want to get this over with, I'm done with this. But examples, evidence, like you need to back up anything you're writing, whether it's a nonfiction piece, a fictional piece, essay of any sort. Make sure you include evidence / examples. If it's asking you why you should be in this club, make sure you give examples of why you should be in this club, whether it be things that you did specifically or just like things that you wish you could have done but are related to what you're answering. And also evidence. Find sources that are strong. Like, I don't know if any of you guys have ever had classes where you have to talk about sources. If you guys want to have a video about credible sources, just comment down below and we can go through that. But make sure your sources are credible, and make sure that whatever you're citing, you cite it correctly according to whatever essay or whatever class or subject you're in requires, because that will help you get a good grade. And citing is always good because you don't want to get plagiarism. I know everybody knows what plagiarism is. Don't plagiarize. BMIs. I made that up because, you know, you can be yourself without plagiarism. But actually, no, you can't plagiarize yourself. So don't listen to that. Because you can plagiarize off yourself. So yeah, I've been saying that a lot. Well, yeah, so don't plagiarize off yourself or off of others. Don't plagiarize, okay? So yeah, make sure everything is by yourself. Let me just say that again. Make sure everything comes from your brain, and make sure that it's just your own work and not your repeated own work. Make sure everything is fresh. Do not plagiarize, okay? Do not do that, okay? So like I said, give evidence and examples that are just strong. You always want everything. You don't even want to go ahead and be like, oh, my first 3 pieces of evidence is strong, this last one, no. Make sure everything is just hitting, so they know like, she right, she gave you this, she gave me that, yes, 1 2 1 2. So yeah, evidence and examples. Again, do not plagiarize. So yeah, the next little tip that I'm gonna say is don't prolong your writing. So don't be at like the beginning and you wait until the near end to get to the point. Like, don't overwrite, because I know I said write like how you're talking, and a lot of times we don't get straight to the point when we're talking, kind of like this video, okay? But yeah, so make sure you get straight to the point. Make sure you don't be writing, again, don't be writing about Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday if we're supposed to be talking about Friday. Get to Friday at the beginning. Just don't drag it. Like, don't drag it, because then the person who's reading your stuff is just gonna be like, right. So don't drag it, don't drag it. Make sure whatever you're writing is solid, is chill, is vibes, is cool, and just get to the point. Write about what you gotta write about and be done with it. And yeah, I think for the most part, those are like the things that you should know. Like, those are the ones where I really feel like if you don't know that, now you know that. So the tips that I have for like myself that I personally use that I don't really be sharing with people, so y'all special, just know that YouTube, y'all special. The tips I use for myself is proofread. all I do is proofread, but I proofread differently. So this is what I'm gonna go ahead and tell y'all how I proofread. So let's say I write an essay on Tuesday. You need to wait 24 hours to look at your essay again. So if my assignment is due Friday, I usually like to have my stuff done by Wednesday, and then I check it on Thursday. So let's say I have it done on Wednesday. On Wednesday, I might go ahead and read it over, who knows. Most times I just exit out or whatever. And then here comes Thursday. I proofread like one time through, go ahead and get all my mistakes out the way, check everything I feel like I need to check, and then I proofread again, and then I proofread one more time before I'm submitting it. And usually that last little proofread, I'm not gonna lie to you, is a little skim, and by the time I'm getting towards the end, I'm like, oh, it's good, and just turn it in. But yes, I proofread about 3 times for most of my essays. I know you're like, that's a lot, but like the first time I read it in my head, the second time I read it out loud, because the way it sounds inside your head and outside, it sounds way different. Because sometimes your head is just like zooming past the words, and I mean that happens sometimes when you're talking, but like most definitely when you're talking, you can hear the mistakes better. So the first time I read it in my head, and the second time for sure I read it out loud. The third time, depending on like how tired I am or like what it's about, I'll read it in my head or read it out loud. But the first 2 times is really just me checking. The last third time is really just like we're just proofreading to just make sure that like both aloud and inside our head was correct and good. The second tip is grammar checks. Now when I do go ahead and check my papers, I do 2 things, so write this down. First thing I do is I take it and I put it into Grammarly, the free version, because y'all 2020 life, it's hard out here, don't got the coins, but we gonna get the coins one day. But like I was saying, we use Grammarly, and I go ahead and I put it down in there. It gives you the little checks, you know, your grammar, your mistakes or whatever. And then I also use this website called Paper that my actually a lady at the library, who, that's my sis for real, that's my sis, she put me on. She showed me this website, and basically, again, Paper, you put it in there and it's a rater, and you just let it read your paper, and it will give you like a grade on what they think your paper will receive. But it's also like Grammarly in the sense that it tells you like mistakes that you made as far as like grammar and stuff like that, and also tells you like if you're wordy, unwordy, and like words that you overuse, how to build your grammar. So those are the 2 ways I check my grammar and writing. There's also like databases that you can also do that through. So if you have the means, just check like your local library listings and see if they have like a writing lab, or ask a teacher. But a tip is to use Paper and Grammarly, and 9 times out of 10, after both of those plus yourself, that's like 3 people, like you're pretty good. The next thing is have somebody read your paper. When somebody reads your paper, make sure that after they give you your like corrections and stuff, make sure that the paper still sounds like yourself. You still want to always sound like you. Again, this goes back to like being comfortable. You want to be comfortable with what you're producing. So make sure whoever you have read your paper, make sure they read it, give you corrections, and make sure at the end of the day it sounds like you. Best tip ever is one-liners. I know y'all like, let me tell y'all, my one-liners, crucial. When I say one-liner, I mean like in the middle of your essay, or just somewhere where it's just like profound. You gotta hit them with a little sum. Like I know there was a prompt that I had that was like, how does your life intersect with service? And I do a lot of service, so in short, somehow, somewhere, I was just like, my life doesn't intersect service, it is the same line. Like it is just like when you heard it and where I put it at, it was just like, she did that. She did that. It's just something that just pops out, and it's just like, did you catch it? Like, and you know, sometimes it's those one-liners that really just change your whole story. Because I've read somewhere and it's just like, I remember this one line like forever. I'll be like, this line was so good that like I like literally your paper. So just add one-liners here, there, like creativity, wit, humor, seriousness, something that just has me always remember. Like sometimes, you know, like there's some reasons why like people will tell you to watch a movie, that's like because there's this part. So make sure you have that one line that's just like, there's this line that like you will like this essay just because of that one line. So one-liners, I definitely think you should put those in. I think you can even Google search like funny one-liners for writings and stuff like that. I've never did it because I'm just funny like that. Sorry, no. But yeah, so those are really my tips for how to write a good essay. Most of them are stuff that you should know. I just want to like remind you those tips, and a lot of it was like editing, because again, editing is where it really comes down to the wire. But yeah, so I hope you guys really liked this video. I hope these tips really help in your writing journey, or if you forgot some of these, or you just need a reminder or like a creative way of thinking about all these things. I hope this video really helped you, because writing is definitely a hard thing, and do not feel alone if this is just not something that's for you. If you guys enjoyed this video, again, do what you gotta do. Like, comment, and share this video. Press the notification bell and just share this video. And again, be a writer. You are a writer. But anyways, thank you. Bye.